Hello, my name is Katie MacIntyre and I'm your host for The Loving Cup, Elevate Your Gratitude. Today is Thursday, September 12th, 2019, and we're live from the Seneca Falls-based FingerLakes1.com studios. So welcome. So before we jump into gratitude with today's guests, I wanted to just take a moment to kind of frame us all in some of the benefits of gratitude. And this is from a 2015 Psychology Today article that talks about the 7 benefits of gratitude. So these are scientifically proven benefits that I think are important to think about. 1, gratitude opens the door to more meaningful relationships. And I think we'll hear more about that with our guest today. Also, gratitude improves your physical health, your psychological health, and it helps reduce aggression and enhances empathy. Grateful people sleep better, which I think is one of my favorite benefits of gratitude. Gratitude also improves your self-esteem, and it increases your mental strength. So it reduces stress, and it helps us overcome trauma. And so today I have two guests with me, Robert and Joni Otterstatter. They're from Auburn, and we're going to talk with them about gratitude and about some of the new ventures they've been having in Auburn, New York. So welcome to you both.
Thank you.
So let's start with having you each introduce the other. So Robert, would you like to go first and introduce us to Joni?
Absolutely. So Joni is, I don't even know where to begin. I mean, she is my wife, my partner. She is the mother of our 2-year-old daughter. I've got a son. We've got a son on the way, due in October. She's fun. She's very talented. I can't say enough about her cooking and her willingness to support our mission. And she's just I couldn't think of a better partner for me.
Beautiful.
I was just going to say, this is Robert, and he's wearing a pineapple shirt, but I guess I got to up my game a little bit. No, this is my very ambitious, kind, loving, selfless, awesome partner in life, and I couldn't be more grateful.
Beautiful. And he has a great pineapple shirt on, too.
I picked it out.
Okay, good.
Maybe.
And you both live in Auburn. Have you always lived in Auburn?
So I grew up in Auburn. And I've lived there the majority of my life. I moved away in the mid-'90s and decided after so many years away it was time to come back.
Okay, good.
I'm from Virginia originally, so I've been here since last June. But I do definitely consider this my adopted home.
That's great.
I really love it here.
Yeah, it's a chosen home for me, too.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, I grew up in New Hampshire.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So quite far away.
Yeah. So let's have you each share with us something that you're most grateful for in the other.
In the other. Wow, it's a lot. So I'd like to say that I have a little bit of a different sense of humor, and I'm grateful that he gets it and actually thinks it's funny and not that I'm crazy.
I definitely appreciate that, but this is going to sound shallow, but I appreciate her cooking. Her cooking is amazing, and I didn't even get to know that aspect of her, for the first couple of weeks that that we dated, and because you date, you go out for meals and. And, we go home and she started cooking. I'm like, oh, my God, this is incredible. And so crazy as it sounds, I mean, again, it sounds kind of superficial, but that has led us down another path.
Yeah, and I think it's going to make sense to people as they hear more of your story, that it's not just about cooking at home, right? There's other adventures. So how about for your whole life? Is there something that jumps out that you're most grateful for?
All the good and bad lessons I've experienced. I mean, because without the bad, you don't see the good. And that's probably my something that stands out if I just pick one thing.
Yeah, perspective.
Yeah, exactly.
So my perspective has changed as I've gotten older, and as it does with most of us. And I've had a couple of incidents in my life that could have wound up much different, and I wouldn't be here. And there's not a day that goes by that I am not grateful for being alive. And this is something that Joni and I talk about all the time, and she will jokingly say, and I know there's a ribbon of truth in it, that I keep us busy, and I do, because life is here to experience things, and we travel and we experience great foods and great people and great coffee and just life. And so I think that's probably what I'm most grateful for. 2 years ago, about 2.5 years ago, I wound up needing open heart surgery at the age of 46. And it stemmed from a dental procedure that had gone horribly wrong. And
just kind of chill.
Yeah, a bacteria had settled in my heart. It was destroying my aortic valve.
It took 6 months for it to present itself.
Wow.
Right.
And it started off with, well, maybe you have mono. Well, maybe you have, the flu. And it was life altering for both of us. It really was.
It turns out that I had endocarditis, which is not, it's not a very friendly thing to have. And we had
more common. It's not that it's common, but it more likely to occur in someone older or a drug user, an intravenous drug user at that. So we got a lot of questions about that, which was just very odd, because it's
and quite frankly disconcerting.
Yeah, it's like, what do you doctors and it was a lot.
But I had a doctor who was quite a unique man. He would make his rounds at 2:00 in the morning, and I woke up to a little bit of prodding, and he said, "Tell me about your heart murmur." And I said, "I don't have one." And he said, "Maybe we should look at that." And before I knew it, they were scheduling me for a procedure where they put me out and stick a camera down my throat to look at the backside of my heart, and discovered that I had bacterial vegetation growing on my heart, and they tried chemically to treat it with medications, and nothing happened, and I wound up having 7 strokes while
gosh.
I was going through all of this.
It was every couple days.
Yeah, every couple of days I'd have another stroke, and they were getting worse. When we made the decision that I should have open heart surgery to replace my valve with a mechanical valve, they weren't even sure that I should undergo the surgery, because before they do open heart surgery, they give you a huge dump of blood thinner, and they said that as soon as they did that, they were afraid that I was going to have one massive stroke and be done. And as I was being wheeled into the surgery suite, I asked my surgeon, I said, what are my chances? And he said, I'd give it 20%. And that's a really difficult thing to hear.
Yeah.
And
I'm surprised they answered.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's true.
I pressed him. I'll be honest.
Well, he kind of became sort of our punching bag, to be honest, because it was, and I, from now looking back, that's got to be a really weighty decision for a doctor to make. Yep. Do I take the chance to save this person's life, or do we just stay the course? There wasn't a good answer, because if he was discharged at that point, it was about 5 weeks, and that's that.
Wow.
So it's either 5 weeks
I'm
or 20%.
grateful for that, doctor.
Yeah.
Me
Same.
as well.
Same. Oh,
On
gosh.
top of everything else, at that time, Joni was 6 months pregnant with Harper. Her mom had passed away
2 months prior.
about 2 months earlier. And so Joni had a very difficult pregnancy emotionally, for sure, because of some of the tumult in our lives. So when we talk about gratitude,
and age and all that stuff,
a lot of gratitude, just comes out of that experience. That looking back, we got to share together, and yes, it was really difficult, and it was very difficult for each of us very differently. But it has really helped us learn to live our lives.
Sure.
It has helped us learn to appreciate some of the things that others take for granted.
Yeah. And it can fuel your resilience. So.
Oh yeah, you really figure out what you're made out of when you think sometimes, I can't do this over something so minor, but when you're faced with something major, it really shows that you're stronger than you think you are.
Yeah. So let's talk about gratitude in the community. And I think for you guys, what I see when I look at you and your work, like the community is not just Auburn, it's really the region and all of the things in it. So can you talk to me about some of your favorite things and the way you approach community and gratitude?
So we began looking at what the resources in the region were long before we moved up here, a couple of years before we moved up
2
here.
years, yeah.
We wanted to make sure that the resources that we needed were going to be present to do what we wanted to do. And Joni and I, we were sort of seeing our country moving in a direction where people were sort of tribing up, are you this? Are you that? Do you believe in this? Do you believe in that? I don't like this, or I don't like that either. And people began to sort of become a little ethnocentric in their beliefs and how they interact with other people. And what helps bring people together is good food, good beverage, good entertainment, good education, things that interest people. And we made the decision that we wanted to do something to help bring people together. I had been up here on just a visiting family. My dad had been diagnosed with a terminal illness, and I wanted to catch up with my brother over coffee. And I said to my brother, let's go down to a coffee shop and just catch up. And he said, there's nowhere to grab coffee around here. And it turned out we had our choice of Dunkin' Donuts or Wegmans. Neither of them is really the location that you want to sit down and have a serious discussion about your dying father.
Sure.
So there was really no place to have that weighty discussion. It wasn't a quiet space. So we wound up sitting in the middle of Wegmans, having a discussion about our dad. And I remember at the time thinking, this is terrible. We wanted to sit down and have a cup of coffee, but we didn't really have a place that we could have an intimate conversation. And we had been looking at a variety of different entrepreneurial options and sort of checking a few off the list. And I thought about it all the way home. And when I got home, I said to Joni, I said, what do you think about opening a coffee shop? And she said,
where, when, let's go.
Yeah. And she said, we like coffee,
Yeah, I mean, that I like is just a gross understatement. I'm growing coffee plants.
Nice.
I'm determined. I don't know. To pray for that one little coffee bean, but so I couldn't think of a better venture than something that we both were crazy about. But you can't make money on just a cup of coffee alone. You have to.
Well, people want more.
Expand upon that, and then it became like this whole idea of how do we bring people together? No matter what your differences are, we all like food. We all like coffee. Well, I'd like to think we all like coffee. Not everyone does. And beer, wine, that kind of thing. And there's, I feel like the resources here are endless for farm to table type of fare. Certainly the wine and all the craft breweries.
Wine and beer and cheese and
and
breads.
Exactly. And we're sort of, the idea too is to employ the people in our community, but also partner with the people in our community and surrounding areas. That way we all win. I mean, it's win-win for everybody. So that was super, I was very grateful that we were able to resource so many things locally. And that was a big goal for us.
Yeah, so you have a coffee location now.
We do. So we had catered a Christmas party last winter, and one of the folks that was there tasted our coffee and said, "This is amazing coffee. This might be the best cup of coffee I've ever had. Would you be interested in opening up a coffee kiosk inside my building?" And he introduced himself and he said, "I own the Health Central location. It's a medical building. We used to have a coffee stand in there, but this is really good coffee. I would love to get you guys in there." And we talked about it, and I think, within 3 weeks.
Yeah, it wasn't long.
Because I think it was like the 7th or 8th of December, and we opened on the 17th of December last year.
Great.
And so we moved very quickly. A lot of things, because we have been planning for so long, a lot of those connections, those business connections and resource connections had already been made.
Yeah.
And so we knew where we could source great coffee, and we knew where we could get that coffee roasted, and we knew where we could find great cheese and great milks, and so that's where we started. And we've just simply continued to build on that, and we've found so many just amazing products locally. And we knew, growing up here, I knew that the Finger Lakes region was rich in wineries, and so we went out, we tasted a bunch of wine, looking at that, going that direction. But opening the kiosk in a medical building, it's we don't have beer taps, we don't have wine,
right?
But we had been out tasting some of the different wines, looking for what we thought was going to be the perfect house wine. We visited creameries, we visited butcher shops, we visited bakeries, you name it, we visited, and we documented all of that right from the very beginning. And if you go to our website, or our Facebook page, and you're patient enough to go all the way back, 2.5 years, you'll see every single place that we visited. We almost gave them an unofficial review of what we thought of their products, and one product after the next was just simply amazing.
We were just not disappointed in anything.
It's awesome.
Yeah, and we continue to feel that way.
Definitely.
In fact, this coming Saturday, let me back up just a second. Tomorrow, we are catering a vegan wedding. Neither of us are vegan, but we certainly appreciate the what it takes to create vegan food.
Mm-hmm.
Without the use of beans, because I'm highly allergic, and if I can't taste the food, I won't cook it.
Okay.
So
that's a challenge.
Yeah, so luckily for me, I didn't have to create, a turkey made out of lentils or whatever. They were very cool about. They're like, yeah, please, whole foods. Don't try to reinvent the wheel by making a hamburger out of kidney beans or whatever.
Yeah,
but that's a good thing because I can't.
Whole foods is that's all we work with is whole foods.
Yeah.
We don't use any packaged food. We don't use any processed food. The downside of that is I have to buy it in smaller increments because if I don't go through it, it goes bad and so on. But the upside is the flavors are simply amazing.
Yeah.
So we've got the vegan wedding tomorrow. On Saturday, we'll be doing a smoked sandwich pop-up over at the Art in the Park at Hoops Park in Auburn. And in addition to the normal things that we sell, we had been posting some of the different smoked items that we do at home that we had been practicing for when we opened up the main shop downtown. And we had so many people reach out to us.
Yeah.
When can we come get some of your smoked food, some of your sandwiches? These look great. And so originally we had decided we would do next Wednesday at the Owasco Farmers Market. And we had so many people reach out to us after I put that post out that we were going to do it then. They said, well, any chance we can get it sooner? And so I talked with the organizers of Art in the Park, and I said,
she actually reached out to us.
Yeah, that's right.
We
she
were
actually
both
reached
thinking,
out to us.
It was 20 minutes prior we were talking about it.
Yep.
And I'm like, I don't know, what if you're next to someone with fabric? They may not appreciate the smoke billowing into their scarves or whatever. So the organizer just happened to call us and said,
awesome.
It's a little short notice, but... And she said, I'll put you somewhere where, you won't disrupt anything. So
I think back to the original question, the community, not only are we filled with gratitude of what's available in the community for us and for our business, but I think we're also completely filled with gratitude for the support that we get from the community.
Yeah, very... I can't even think of really any negatives. There's one or two individuals here and there, but overall, the support has been really almost unbelievable. Like,
it's awesome.
Yeah. So.
And everybody supports each other. And as Joni said, there are maybe one or two exceptions, but
it happens.
And there are always going to be exceptions. But far and away, business support, community support. The support from the city, the support from the county.
Yeah.
We haven't really run into any organization that has said, oh, no, you shouldn't do this, or has made it difficult for us to move forward. Now, there are plenty of difficulties, and don't let me fool you.
Mm-hmm. But not by what you would think.
Right. A lot of old building issues. Our build-out is taking much, much, much longer than we ever anticipated. It always
takes longer and costs more. That's generally
that is really the way
truth. It goes.
Yeah.
So I know you're at Health Central,
yep.
and you're at farmers markets in Owasco and Auburn, and the Saturday morning market at Equal Rights Heritage Center and Scanny Atlas. Yep. And then share about the Nolan building and what that's going to be and what people can expect and when they can come and experience that.
Well, of course, we just talked about old issues or old building issues. We don't have a firm date. We're still hoping for the end of this year, but we'll see. Hopefully nothing dramatic will unearth itself because progress is being made, just in case. But I don't really know where to begin with Octane because it's so much. We will have...
How about the name?
Oh, well, Octane, of course, is fuel. So it was kind of a cutesy name for coffee. And then this whole social aspect of bringing people together with fuel, food, beverage. That's pretty much where it came from.
And Octane includes fuel for your soul as well.
Yeah, sure.
With
a
recharge,
the music,
the entertainment. We'll have
education
nights,
portion of it. We're, of course, with now having almost 2 children, and my husband is a teacher. Education is so important to us. Adult education, fun. Just because you're having fun doesn't mean you're not learning.
Sure.
And that's how it should be. So we're going to have adult education classes. We'll have, craft nights. We'll have something called date night where, say you and your husband bring your children. We'll take your children. We'll entertain them while you and your husband enjoy a drink, some food, whatever band is playing. And then you all come together. You all leave together. But you spent some time apart, which is I feel very healthy. And so we're trying to kind of keep everybody in mind when we, open our doors.
Nice.
Something for everyone.
And family is incredibly important to both of us. And the older I get, for sure, the more I realize that.
Yeah, definitely.
I have always strived to be a good father. But I think the older I get, the better father I've become. I'm not as worried about spending time away at work, where I may have a little too much with my older daughter, but we're even looking at how we interact with our employees, and one of the things that's important to us is that our employees are happy. We want them to be able, within certain parameters, obviously all of our needs as a company need to be met for for what our mission is, but within those parameters, the employees will get to choose their own hours, and as long as they can work it out amongst themselves and make sure that everything that we need is covered, nothing is set in stone.
Yeah.
If one of our employees has a daycare issue and they need to be out by 2:00, as long as somebody else is there, you all balance that, and we're happy with that.
That's great. No, flexibility is really important.
Yeah, especially when you have children and.
Yeah, because it's unpredictable sometimes. So.
Yeah, for sure.
That's good. So we have just a couple more minutes, but I was thinking it would be fun if you could share with us something that a memory that you're most grateful for with each other. So something you've done together that's just like fabulous and you'll never forget, and it's a top of mind thing.
We've done a lot.
Something funny that just came to mind was when we went horseback riding in Las Vegas, or it wasn't in Las Vegas, it was in Arizona.
Grand Canyon.
Oh my God, I hated every minute of it. I was terrified because I don't like being up on high things and wild animals. And I was
Whose idea was it? Okay.
I don't know why that particular thing just popped into my mind, but I remember being yelled at by the, whatever he was, the guide, because I was just not being controlling with the horse. I was just letting him do whatever, and he kind of cussed me out a little bit, and I'm like, oh my gosh, like, what is happening right now?
So it wasn't the donkeys like on the Brady Bunch, it was a horse.
These were horses.
Okay.
Yep.
Like, yeah, I felt like I was, like the world really was flat, and I was going to fall off the Grand Canyon.
Scary.
Yeah, it was terrifying.
We've done so much together,
we have. In a short amount of time.
In a very short amount of time, and gosh, I don't know that one memory comes to the top, but I mean, I love just when we hop on the motorcycle together. I'm an avid motorcyclist, and when we hop on the bike together and we go experience something. And with a 2-year-old at home, and it became a little bit more difficult. And with one on the way, we haven't in a while. But we would hop on the motorcycle and go down to somewhere, and just experiencing that time together on 2 wheels. And her holding on to me, and going someplace and arriving and just enjoying life.
That's awesome. I think that makes me think too. It's like really you enjoy the middle part, right? Because sometimes you set that destination and it's all about getting there.
Yeah.
But what you just described is really about savoring every step of the way. Even if you don't know where you're going, like what your ultimate destination is, just explore.
Yeah. I was asked a long time ago why I enjoyed riding a motorcycle. And I responded, have you ever watched the movie of a book that you've read? And they said, yes. And I said, which one was a better experience? When you watch a movie, you sit there and you're just watching this story go by. When you're reading a book, you experience all the minutia that is happening in these characters' lives. It's the same when you're on a motorcycle. You get the smells and the sights, and sometimes the rain or the snow or the mud or the bugs
or whatever.
But you learn to appreciate all of that.
Yep. So the book and the bike, always better. Right?
Yes, 100%.
Good. So our time has passed so quickly.
That was fast.
I want to thank you for being my guest today and sharing some thoughts on gratitude. And thank you for tuning in to The Loving Cup. If you or someone you know would be a great guest for the show, please feel free to reach out to me through Facebook or LinkedIn, or you can contact Finger Lakes One, and they'll put you in touch with me. So until then, have a great day, share your gratitude, and be well.